What happens when a billionaire's son walks into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom and literally throws his ticket at the bench like a tip at a valet stand? This 23-year-old is about to learn that some disrespect has consequences no amount of family money can erase. But what makes this case truly unforgettable isn't just a thrown ticket. It's what this entitled young man said to 78-year-old war veteran minutes before, and what his father's legal team tried to do within hours of the incident. Let us know where you're watching from, because what Judge Caprio does to this arrogant young man will restore your faith that wealth doesn't purchase exemption from accountability. It's a Tuesday morning in Providence Municipal Court. 10 a.m. sharp. The bailiff calls the next case the city versus Connor Blake, age 23. Charged with reckless driving in congested traffic, verbal harassment of another driver, and disorderly conduct in courtroom. Connor Blake approaches the bench wearing designer clothes that cost more than most defendants earn in a month. He pulls a folded citation from his pocket, glances at it with visible contempt, and tosses it onto Judge Caprio's bench like he's tipping a parking attendant. "Here," Connor says dismissively. "My dad pays your salary. Let's make this quick." The courtroom freezes. Officer Martinez, standing near the door, straightens visibly. The court clerk stops typing. People in the gallery exchange shocked glances. Judge Caprio's voice is deadly calm. "Pick that up." "Excuse me?" Connor replies, genuinely confused that someone would dare give him an order. The citation. "Pick it up and hand it to the clerk properly." Connor stares at Judge Caprio. 3 seconds pass. 5, 7. He's clearly never been told no in his life. Judge Caprio's next words cut through the silence like a blade. "Perhaps your father will pay for your lesson." 2. Money can buy cars, not character. If you're not subscribed, hit that button right now, because what happens next will show you exactly what happens when privilege crashes into justice. Connor hesitates, then picks up the citation and places it on the clerk's desk without a word. His jaw is tight. His confidence is cracked, but not shattered. Not yet. The clerk reads the charges. Reckless driving in congested traffic. Verbal harassment of another driver. Disorderly conduct for throwing the citation. Judge Caprio asks if Connor has legal representation. A woman in an expensive suit stands. Defense attorney from Providence's most prestigious firm. She's prepared to pay all applicable fines immediately and close this matter today. Judge Caprio's response is immediate. Courtrooms don't take tips. Counselor will review the evidence. Sit down. The attorney hesitates, then sits. Judge Caprio reviews the file. There's a notation about a prior traffic warning 6 months ago for aggressive lane changes. Officer's discretion. No citation issued. "Mr. Blake, do you remember that stop?" Connor shrugs. "It was nothing. Nothing. So, you learned nothing." Judge Caprio's voice is measured. The prior warning is entered as pattern context. He asks Connor to explain what happened on the morning of October 15th. Connor shifts his weight. "I was driving on Broad Street. Traffic was heavy. Some old guy in a beat-up Honda cut me off. I honked. He brake-checked me. So, I went around him and taught him a lesson. Explain what that means." I got in front of him and slowed down. Let him know he can't just cut people off. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. "You don't teach lessons from behind a horn, Mr. Blake. You escalated a traffic situation into harassment. What happened next?" "He pulled over. I kept going. Then a cop pulled me over like I did something wrong." Judge Caprio picks up the police report. Officer Martinez report says you shouted something at the other driver before leaving. "What did you shout?" Connor glances at his attorney. She nods slightly. "I might have said something like, 'Learn to drive, Grandpa.'" Judge Caprio picks up a witness statement. Walter Harris, the other driver, is a 78-year-old Navy veteran. He says you called him Grandpa Traffic and told him to retire his car. Is that accurate? "I don't remember exactly. I was mad. You were mad. So, you mocked an elderly veteran for driving carefully in congested traffic." Connor doesn't answer. Judge Caprio calls Officer Martinez to testify. The officer describes observing Connor aggressively cut in front of the Honda, then deliberately slowed down. forcing the other vehicle to brake repeatedly. When the Honda pulled to the curb, Connor leaned out his window, shouted something, then accelerated away. What was the defendant's demeanor during the stop? Judge Caprio asks, "Dismissive, Your Honor. He said the other driver should learn when to get off the road. When I explained the violations, he laughed and said, 'Good luck with that.'" Judge Caprio asks to hear the body camera audio. Connor's voice fills the courtroom sharp and mocking. "Old guys should learn when to get off the road. Good luck with that." The silence that follows is devastating. Judge Caprio asks the clerk to play security camera footage from the intersection. The video shows everything. Connor cutting off Walter's Honda, slowing deliberately, the elderly driver braking twice to avoid collision, Connor pulling alongside to shout, then driving away. Cameras don't take sides. Judge Caprio says quietly, "They take truth." He asks Connor directly, "Did you cut in front of Mr. Harris's vehicle?" "Yes." "Did you slow down deliberately to block him?" "I was making a point." "Yes or no?" "Yes." "Did you shout at him before driving away?" "Yes." 3 admissions on the record. Judge Caprio picks up another document, a phone log. The clerk reads aloud. 2 phone calls and 1 voicemail, received from a number registered to Blake Industries' legal office. First call at 8:17 a.m. day after the incident. Second call at 11:42 a.m. Voicemail left at 3:09 p.m. requesting the citation be dismissed administratively before formal hearing. Judge Caprio plays the voicemail, a smooth corporate voice. "This is Blake Industries' legal office calling on behalf of Richard Blake regarding his son's traffic matter. We request the citation be dismissed administratively. Please contact our office to arrange resolution." Judge Caprio looks at Connor. "Did you ask your father to have his legal office call this court?" "I told him I got a ticket. I didn't tell him to call, but you expected him to. It's not a question." Connor doesn't answer. Influence arrived before remorse did. Judge Caprio says quietly. He picks up another document, a text message screenshot visible on Connor's phone during the traffic stop. Connor gave verbal consent for it to be photographed. The clerk reads it. Text sent from Connor Blake's phone to contact labeled Marcus. Timestamp 10:37 a.m. Message reads, "Some old vet blocked me on Broad. Gave him a lecture. Got pulled over. But Dad's team will fix it. All good." Connor's jaw clenches. Judge Caprio leans forward. "Let me map this for you, Mr. Blake. Incident at 10:09. Officer stops you at 10:12. Citation issued at 10:31. You text Marcus at 10:37. 6 minutes later. Already confident your father's team will fix it. First call from your father's legal office arrives the next morning. Connor tries to speak, but Judge Caprio holds up a hand. The text shows intent. You expected intervention. You communicated that expectation. The calls followed. Pattern established. Connor's attorney stands, requesting discretion due to Blake family's prominent position in the business community. Judge Caprio's response is immediate. Sunlight keeps records honest. This case stays public. If your client's conduct can't survive scrutiny, that's a problem with the conduct, not the scrutiny. He turns to Connor. I'm going to ask you 3 yes or no questions. Did you drive recklessly by cutting off Walter Harris's vehicle and deliberately blocking him? Yes. Did you verbally harass Mr. Harris by calling him Grandpa Traffic and telling him to retire his car? Yes. Did you throw your citation at this bench and tell me your father pays my salary? 12 seconds of silence. Yes. Those 12 seconds were how long it took for entitlement to collapse under the weight of truth. Judge Caprio delivers his findings. The evidence is overwhelming. Body camera audio confirms dismissive statements. Security footage confirms reckless driving and verbal harassment. The text message confirms expectation of intervention. Connor's own admissions confirm every charge. This court does not weigh cases based on family wealth or corporate influence. Arrogance is a luxury no law accepts. The base fines total $980, but Judge Caprio suspends $400 contingent on completion of a restorative accountability plan. The requirements: a public apology to Walter Harris in person, 200 hours of community service with the City Veteran Support Office. 3 public service talks to young drivers at local high schools. Production of a court-approved short film titled Respect on the Road. A 1,000-word written reflection on the topic status can't signal kindness. Additionally, Judge Caprio makes formal recommendations. Establish quarterly courtroom civility audits. Create security camera. Release policies for reckless driving footage. Implement mandatory courtroom conduct training for defendants under 30. Add a veteran respect initiative to the driver education curriculum. 6 weeks pass. Connor begins his community service at the Veteran Support Office. Week 1, polite on time. Week 3, asks thoughtful questions about VA processes. Week 7 stays 2 extra hours to help with Thanksgiving meal delivery. Week 12 leads a digital literacy workshop for elderly veterans. On a Tuesday in December, Connor meets Walter Harris for the first time since the incident. The meeting is arranged through the court at a community center. Connor stands when Walter enters. The elderly veteran is thin, wearing a Navy baseball cap, walking with a cane. Mr. Harris. Connor begins quietly. I'm here to apologize for what I did. I cut you off. I blocked you. I called you Grandpa Traffic and told you to retire your car. I treated you like an obstacle instead of someone who earned the right to be on that road long before I was born. You're a veteran. You served this country, and I mocked you for driving carefully. I'm sorry. Walter studies him. You meant it when you said it. Yes, sir, I did. Why you mean it? Connor hesitates. Because I thought I was more important than you. Because I was in a hurry and didn't see you as a person, just an obstacle. Now I know better. I've spent 12 weeks working with veterans. I've heard stories. I've met people who sacrificed more than I'll ever understand. I was arrogant. I'm sorry. Walter nods slowly. I accept your apology, but understand this. Respect isn't something you give when it's convenient. It's something you give because people deserve it. Yes, sir. Walter extends his hand. Connor shakes it. January arrives. Connor delivers his first public talk at a local high school. 94 students listen as he tells them about throwing the ticket at Judge Caprio, about mocking Walter Harris, about the 12 seconds of silence when he finally admitted the truth. I thought being in a hurry gave me the right to bully someone off the road. It doesn't. I thought my last name meant I didn't have to follow the same rules. It doesn't. Respect on the road isn't optional. It's mandatory. A student asks, "Did your dad try to get you out of it?" His legal office called the court twice. The judge put the calls on public record and told me influence arrived before remorse did. That was the truth. Connor completes all 3 talks. He produces and submits his short film after 2 rejected drafts. The final version features Connor narrating his own story. I cut off a 78-year-old Navy veteran because I was in a hurry. I mocked him. I thought I was teaching him a lesson. I was wrong. He didn't need the lesson. I did. Late March. Connor completes his 200th hour at the Veteran Support Office. He receives a completion certificate and A. Handwritten note from Walter Harris. Connor, you showed up. You listened. You learned. That's all anyone can ask. Respect isn't inherited. It's earned through conduct. You're earning it. Connor reads it twice and puts it in his wallet. He spends 3 days writing his reflection essay. Excerpt: I thought my father's name gave me permission to treat people as obstacles. When I cut off Walter Harris, I wasn't just breaking a traffic law. I was breaking a moral one. He served this country for 22 years. I served my own impatience for 22 seconds. Status can't signal kindness. Wealth can't buy character. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn. 6 months after the original hearing, Connor returns to Judge Caprio's courtroom for final review. This time, he arrives alone. No attorney, no father, no entourage. Judge Caprio reviews his compliance file. Everything is complete. Walter Harris submitted a written statement. Connor apologized to me in person. He didn't make excuses. He didn't hide behind his father's name. He worked. He listened. He apologized like a man, not a brand. I forgive him. Judge Caprio asks Connor to summarize what he learned. Your Honor, I learned that wealth doesn't grant permission to disrespect people. I learned that veterans like Walter Harris earned their place on the road long before I was born. I learned that my father's money can't erase my mistakes. I learned that respect isn't inherited. It's earned by how you treat people when you think no one's watching. I threw a ticket at your bench because I thought my last name made me untouchable. It doesn't. I'm grateful you didn't let me believe that lie. Judge Caprio signs a completion form. You've met every requirement with integrity. The suspended $400 is waived. Your case is closed. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me. Thank Walter Harris. Thank the people who taught you what your father's money couldn't buy. 3 months later, the reforms take effect. The quarterly courtroom civility audit is published, documenting incidents of disrespect and their consequences. Security camera footage policies improve emergency response times. Courtroom conduct training is implemented statewide. The Veteran Respect Initiative is added to driver education curriculum, including Connor's short film. 1 year after the hearing, Judge Caprio receives a handwritten letter. Your Honor, I wanted you to know I'm still volunteering at the Veteran Support Office. I choose to. Last month, Walter called and asked if I'd help teach a digital literacy class. We taught 12 veterans. One told me, "You're nothing like the kid who yelled at Walter." I told him, "That kid learned his lesson. My father's money could have bought me out of that ticket. It couldn't buy me the respect. I earned over 200 hours of service. Thank you for teaching me the difference." Connor Blake. Judge Caprio files a letter and writes a single note. He threw a ticket and caught a lesson. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible courtroom moments where privilege meets accountability and where judges like Frank Caprio prove that no amount of money can purchase character or respect. Hit that like button if you believe that throwing a ticket at a judge reveals everything about someone's entitled mindset. Drop a comment telling us whether you think Connor Blake's transformation was genuine, because this story isn't just about one arrogant young man learning humility. It's about understanding that status can't signal kindness, that wealth can't buy character, and that respect travels faster than any car, no matter how expensive that car might be. Connor Blake walked into court thinking his father's money made him untouchable. He discovered that the only thing that matters in a courtroom is truth, accountability, and a willingness to learn from your mistakes. That's justice. That's transformation.